Accept this fact about your life and get the most out of it. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Damon Carp from NLP Gym, bringing you cutting-edge tools and mental technology to help you master your life. So if that sounds good, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Live as if you will die tomorrow. Dream as if you will live forever. It was kind of funny because a friend of mine just sent me that quote a few weeks ago, and it's actually on this James Dean picture. There's a quote there by him that says the exact same thing, but actually I don't think that James Dean was the first person to say that. The sentiment behind that is really nice. We hear quotes like that and they sound good, they sound inspirational, and to some degree they make logical sense. But actually I don't think that that's very realistic or even applicable. If you think about, if you really lived your life every single day as if tomorrow you were going to die, I don't think I would be very productive. I don't think that I would exercise at all. I don't think that I would pay my bills. I think that I would just huddle up with my family every single day and try to connect with them as much as possible, thinking that this will be their last memory of me. And then it's kind of sad too. So living as if you're going to die tomorrow isn't realistic at all or applicable. Dreaming as if you will live forever, okay. I think dreaming is good because it gets your imagination going and it gets your creativity going. But I don't like to get too dreamy. I like to dream up visions that I think I can actually create, that I can make happen. And I'll do another video about that. So overall, even though this quote sounds nice, I don't think that it's too helpful. So what I do think is helpful is this sentence here, which is, live as if you're going to die someday and you don't know when that day is. Not only is that very realistic, I think it's also very useful because we're not guaranteed a long life. And I think most people, most young people and most even middle-aged people live as if they're going to live forever, that like they have unlimited time. And I never became so aware of this as when I first started selling life insurance. When I first started selling life insurance, I had 2 kids under the age, well, one was 1 and one was under the age of 1. And I thought, this is an important policy, I need to get it. And so, of course, I got myself plenty of life insurance. And I thought that anybody who had a family to protect, anything like that, this would be a no-brainer. I could not believe the trouble that I ran into. Some people would get angry at me if I just even mentioned it. What I started to realize is that people have a hard time accepting their own mortality. And by even having a discussion about life insurance, brought that to the forefront of that person's mortality. And if they even had to get to the point of, or they got to the point of purchasing a life insurance policy, this in a sense was admitting their mortality or facing their mortality. And most people I talked to couldn't even do that, even at the risk of their family's financial future. So right away I started looking into this and into my own mortality as well, because obviously I had accepted it enough to buy a policy. But what I was really thinking about was what happens to my family if I pass early. And the more I started getting into accepting the idea of my own mortality, I found out that there was a very interesting side to that. At first it seemed very dark to me. It seemed very dark to say, okay, I'm going to admit to myself, more than just intellectually, but really understand that my life is finite and I don't know when I'm going to pass. And the more I started to do this, the more I realized how precious life is and how precious time is, because you don't get an unlimited amount of it. And that's when I started to really feel like I began to live. Now, some people might think, oh, if I live like that, if I live with the acceptance of death, that I am going to be very hedonistic or nihilistic and not care about anything, not care about other people, and just do whatever the hell that I want. And that's just really not true. Because if you care about people and you care about things in your life, the more you accept your mortality, the more precious those things become. The more you realize you can't put things off anymore. You have to answer the call of your potential. It also, you start to get a sense of greater purpose and meaning in your life. It's not the other way around. A lot of people think that life seems meaningless if I'm just going to die. And it's just not true. And so religion, and in a lot of ways, and I'm not trying to step on anyone's religious beliefs here. If you believe in a religion, everything that I'm going to say here does not negate it. I think religion, and sometimes is an attempt to answer that question or to make people feel better about their mortality by giving or having this idea of an afterlife. And in some religions, there's reincarnation. So I think, unfortunately, the side effect to that is thinking that, oh, well, this isn't the real life. It's the afterlife is the real life. Or if you're believe in reincarnation, well, I'm going to have many more lives, so I don't really need to do much in this life. And I think that actually goes against the overall idea of religion, and that is to give your life meaning and purpose. So if your life has meaning and purpose, that's even more reason to answer the call of your potential. That's even more reason to do what compels you, and to not put things off, and to get out there and really see what's possible in this life, because you were given this life not by accident, that there is true meaning and purpose to your life. So if you believe in God or you believe in a higher power, then my best guess is that God or higher power wants you to actualize your potential, wants you to put the most in your life, invest the most in your life, do as much as you possibly can, actualize your potential. I can't imagine a God tossing you into this life and saying, oh, it's just temporary, just hang out here and prepare for the afterlife, or prepare for your next 10 lives that you're going to live. You can believe that if you want to. I don't think it's very useful or helpful. What I'm saying is here that you can totally believe in a religion, you can believe in an afterlife, you can believe in reincarnation, and get the most out of this life, and why would you not want to? This life is temporary. If you come to terms with that, you will really begin to live it to the fullest. Most people are living their lives taking it for granted, taking time for granted, as if there's an unlimited amount of time. And when people do that, because they're not accepting their mortality, there's no urgency and there's no call to action. But when you accept that this time is limited, then suddenly you will feel that urgency. You will feel that call to action. And you will start writing that novel. You will go on that trip that you've been wanting to go to Europe or Africa. You'll realize that it's time to start taking action, not just think about these things. A lot of times people will think about things and they give themselves the sense that they've sort of done it. But no, you haven't. And action is action and thinking is thinking. So get out of just thinking about it and start doing it. So accept that you're going to die someday and you don't know when it will be. It could be tomorrow. It could be 80 years from now. Knowing that it's temporary actually makes it more powerful, actually makes it more sacred and precious. And if you've had brushes with death, like I have, I've had a few, and most people have, what I've noticed is that when you do that, or when that happens, that suddenly everything that's most important to you comes into focus. And all the trivial things that you may have been stressing out about, or that you were taking too serious, suddenly falls by the wayside, and you just realize it's not even important. And it's a paradox, and it's kind of odd, but it's coming close to death is what really makes you feel alive. And that has a lot to do with realizing what's really important. So telling people to live as if you're going to die tomorrow, I think the idea behind that is to get people to focus in on what's really important and let go of the things that aren't important. But unfortunately, most people can't bring themselves to really believe that or think like that, like I'm going to die tomorrow. So let's get more realistic about it. Let's just accept the fact about it is that we're going to die. We don't know when it will happen, but it will happen someday. And that alone will put the fuel in the engine and get you started. If you'd like some free training and some free resources on how to help you master your life and even learn NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, check out my website, nlp-gym.com. There you will find lots of resources and some free training and even some hypnotic inductions. Also check out the NLP Gym page on Facebook. Like and follow that page if you want real-time updates on whatever it is that I'm up to. And last but not least, if you like this video, please click like right down here and click that subscribe button if you haven't already so that you can get these videos on a regular basis. Take care.